Hey, how we doing today? So today, really important stuff. We're going to take a look at how to most efficiently pass the AP Micro test. Now, if you look at the curriculum and look at like the test description, you look at all the things that are on there, you're probably like, wow, there's a ton of things that I got to learn. And it's true, there are a lot of things, but you really got to think about this. Use economics to pass the economics test. Like, not everything is as important as everything else. It's like they're not all equally as important. So I went through 3 years of practice tests, and I can't release like the practice test as an AP teacher, but other than just giving to my students, but I can study them, okay? So I went through 3 years of them and took a look at those and took a look at the FRQs and tried to figure out what are the most important points. And I was actually wrong. I predicted what the top 5 would be, and what it played out to be was not the case. So I have the 5 most important things that you need to know to pass the AP Micro test, okay? This is gonna comprise a lot of what is on the test. And I'm just gonna give them to you right now. This video is gonna be all about that. The first one, and I'm gonna make a video about each one of these concepts after. The first one is perfect competition, labor, and product. Okay, so you have to understand that. You have to know, and I think those two are really closely related. So understanding that is big. That right there, to me, is 16% of what's going to be on the test. Just understanding that dual concept right there. Number 2, and this was a surprise to me, I didn't think it was as big, I knew it was big, but simple supply and demand, okay, and all the tricks that go along with supply and demand. That right there is 15% of what's going to be on the test. Okay, so if you're pinned and you're like, man, I only have like 3 hours to study before it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, what do I study? This is going to be almost a third of what's on the AP test, just answering questions that are like this. Then if you're like, all right, I got a little bit more time, what else do you do? Well, the next one, and I was wrong on this, I thought this would be more like 5, but government intervention. Now, I include a lot of things within that, but government intervention, that right there is 13% of what's going to be on the AP test, okay, approximately, my estimation. Okay, then what else we got? Okay, well, number 4 is what I'm calling the 10-point monopoly, check, okay? So that graph, that monopoly graph, there's all sorts of things on that monopoly graph. There's 10 things that you want to really know, and if you know those, that's another 10%, okay? And then finally, and this was a surprise to me too, market structures, okay? I thought monopoly would be number 1, I thought this would be number 2, I thought supply and demand would be like number 4. I didn't even think market structures would be on the list, but really, you look at the test, there's a lot of questions that just deal with simple understanding of market structures, okay? Okay, so that right there is 10%. So if you add these up, and actually, sorry, the 10-point check is 12%. So if you add that up, that's 31, 44% right here, that's 44%, and then 56% if you get the 10-point check, and then 66, so that's 2/3 of the test right there on these 5 concepts. And I'm going to try to describe each of them in about 2 minutes in the following videos, okay? So if you're pinned against the wall and you got a little bit of time and you're like, what do I need to know? These are the things you need to know. There's a lot of other things that are nice to know, but you need to know these, at least somewhat, to have a chance to pass it, all right? So let's get rocking.